Welcome,
Enough to level
welcome,
two.
everybody. Welcome to BeoTalk 227. More and more theater stuff, as always. If you're British, rest in peace to your queen. Long live the king. So we have that. Then normal housekeeping. If you want to buy a cover from Skinny Play, use this link that I put in chat, and I'll give you a promo code for 10% off. For some reason, they chose the Wikipedia for once, but that's fine with me. Hope everybody's doing well. Also, come join our Discord if you haven't yet already. Always good fun there. The first reviews of, or first thoughts anyway, of the theater are coming in on the Discord side. If you have a question that you want absolutely answered, a super chat guarantees an answer. Also, like and subscribe if you haven't yet already. And we're pretty much there. So, Eric, how have you been? Are you enticed yet to buy a theater?
Yeah, as we talked about before, that when you asked me when are your dealers or your dealer getting the theater in, so you can look at it. And I talked to another friend of mine that I'm not so sure that I want to go and listen to it, and just because of which product that I have, do I have to replace it with? So in my case is that since the theater is or should be the best kind of soundbar, even better than the Harmony. So in that case, then the Harmony should go because it's in the theater room. But the Eclipse is the oldest TV, so that's the one that should be being replaced. But yeah, it's a hard question to ask. But I think that when the Eclipse goes, it's going to be a 65-inch theater. You kind of have to be, right? And then it will be like a theater room there, I guess. Something like that.
You got the first gen Eclipse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels bad. If a fan of God dies on it, you can't really do anything with it.
No, it's more like if there will ever be some kind of problem with one of my TVs, they're out the door directly and it will be replaced. So much of a static and you just, oh, there's a reason. Time to get a new one.
There's a reason.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Good.
But, yeah. You guys have so much easier because since you're both in the kind of on the move to the US and everything, so your plans is just you can just scrap all kind of bring in your TVs to the US. You can just theater in every room.
I'm gonna buy a stage in the little apartment that I'm moving into. I'm not gonna go for the theater here. It's one less thing to move, and if I'm gonna in the B&O show different. So I'm gonna because there's apparently an LG 65-inch TV already in the apartment. So just HDMI into it and Bob's your uncle. Somehow
with this format, Mikey.
Yeah, sorry. Since I made that's not what I meant to do. I hope this fixes it.
What, the internet sucks? So yeah, I actually closed the window down for YouTube because that was going like.
Well, what it does is that it basically changes your aspect ratio all the time.
I know.
So I was looking.
Can you lock it?
I was trying to find the button, but there's no button that says lock aspect ratio. It's another button, but I forget what it is. So I was just clicking around in the background. That's why I was partially quiet. It's just like, what the fuck does this do again?
Yeah, internet here is absolutely abysmal. But
I think I have it now, but I'm not sure. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But
create a hotspot.
So far, apparently, who was it? He's new to the Discord. was it? I'm just scrolling. Where are we? DAB M50. Apparently, if you're in the UK and if you're in London specifically, you're in luck because Selfridges has a B&O theater on show already. So
Already.
yeah, because apparently it's a B&O owned store. So they set one up already over there in a showroom, and they have it set up with 18s wide and 28s rear, and so
And no
far.
front.
So it's not marketing fluff, as in they basically say have it as itself up front, and with 28s as rear speakers. And apparently this was good enough to get a purchase from DAB M50. And then since it's not too far out of the way for Sandeep went there as well. And it's pretty much like, whoa, like it's a lot. It's typical B&O in that it's obviously weirdly set up because it's a B&O store, and I don't always think they know how to set their stuff up best. But
yeah, they're often limited in the kind of weird space and how they place.
Yeah, so Sandeep said it was quite good. That's not an undersell, but it's sort of like the where it's set up. There's quite a lot of apparently exterior noise from either the shop and or stuff around it. So it's not like it's a real quiet place to properly listen to when you have a bunch of like noise pollution coming in.
With the new kind of store layouts, the old store layout often had one dedicated cinema room. That is all gone now, and it's very open floor plan. So yeah, I guess it will be not the best for them to try it out. So
yeah, so that it's apparently quite a good show, but it's a bit hard to like properly listen to. And also there's some quirks in setup that aren't immediately evident because, as I understood it, it's B&O themselves that came to set it up. As in, they handed over the keys to some installer people, and they came back the next morning, and it's like, it's here. Go sell it. Which is like, okay. So there's some quirks also in the sort of speaker presets they let you listen to. Because it's the theater on its own, the theater with 18s, and the theater by itself with the 28s. And that sort of triangle apparently sounded pretty amazing. With the 18s and the theater, it did gain some width, and the theater by itself was also really good. But the way it's set up, Sandeep told me in the remote, is that the theater by itself is called theater. The theater plus 18s and 28s is called true image on the remote for some reason. And then, oh God, now your aspect is going there. So it's a bit hard if you don't know what you're exactly listening to give a full reply on what you think about it. Because if you have left and right speakers, you like what is on in the theater itself. Like if you don't know that can make a massive change. The same for like, I take it, but this is just guessing, that if you have the theater in 28s, that everything in the theater is on. But there's no really any way to tell at the moment, because it's all in the app, right? Because you set the theater up in the app and everything's in the app. So if you're used to an Eclipse or a Harmony, you can go into the B&O app and see what you're listening to and what the speaker rolls are set to. Well, that's apparently no longer there. That's now in your phone or iPad app.
Is it not in the Beo Remote 1?
Yeah, but only the name you give it. and apparently the names are theater, True Image, and what was it?
Stereo, most likely.
No, it's set up for movie review.
Yeah, but that's how you name it. That's retarded. That's how you name it, not what they name it.
That's what B&O named. This is what B&O
shit.
named it.
But this is the
By default?
I don't know.
Or...
And nobody knew because they didn't set it up at the store themselves. It was B&O's people that set it up.
Yeah, so it can be that they set it up with those names.
I mean,
otherwise,
the same way, right? Like if you're used to eclipses and harmonies, you know you have like several different audio presets you can listen to, like music or drama or you name it. Like, is that all set properly if you AirPlay into it? Or is that still set to movie?
Yeah, you have 9 presets.
So
or 8, but one you manage yourself on individual. But yeah.
So this needs to be done correctly, and I'm like, when was this? A few months ago, I did a semi-shitty video with a shaky cam of how I set my stuff up here, and it amazes me the amount of people that comment on this that like my dealer didn't do any of this, and it's like, yeah, well, if your dealer
why not, right?
Uh,
Well, they probably don't know.
I think so too. I got the feeling that, again, the installer that I had, but every preset.
Could it, but could it also be what I would call on installers is the runaway syndrome? You know what I mean? As soon as it works, I run.
Very much so. But the weird thing for me, I don't know if the same thing is for you.
I think.
There we go. That the presets are that the dealer made was that, like, watching regular TV from the TV box is 5.0 or something. It's everything is just surrounded. Every speaker that is active. I don't want it. I want the TV to be the standard, and except for the Oppo player or maybe the Apple TV, but mostly Oppo player.
So you want speaker groups being source dependent, basically.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, and you can set that up in all the newer TVs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you can also save it to change it under My Buttons and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but these are questions, right? Because it's a B&O owned store, and the people in the B&O store didn't set it up themselves, and it's been there for maybe a day now, maybe 2. So if like a lot of people are coming in because it's the first of its kind, more or less, in the country. Like, do you have a lot of time to just sit there and dig through what it all does when it's supposed to do it?
But I always was under the impression that B&O is, it's so simple, right? Because everything is taken care of by the person that, sold it to you and installs it, I guess. At least, I have that point of view on it because I do it for people, right? Like, if I set shit up, I set it up fucking all the way. Like, I ask them where they sit and what's the most common place that they want to listen to music on, and especially since the era of the BeoVision 11 and the True Image engine and the fact that you can have, if you have 5 speakers, but you can rotate the entire soundstage even upside, backwards, right? Or 180 degrees. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. You can just do whatever you want. And I always set this shit up for people. I've had one house that this 2 6000s was way too far for being anywhere relevant to being in a surround system. But with True Image, you can actually make them, right?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, they would be screaming at you on that side. So for the chairs that they do reading stuff, then you do a different preset, right? But you still involve the other speakers, so it kind of floods the room. But that takes time. And back in the day, what really took time was programming BO6s. Fucking hell.
I bet you, yeah. I mean, it does look good. I'm showing it on screen. It is a sort of weird little room within a bigger room, and it is a smaller room, and it looks nice.
But it's kind of European-sized room for TVs, and especially UK rooms. So in that sense, for a 65-inch, it's a big TV. So...
Oh, I got an idea. I can watch the stream on my phone with data on.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't use the local Wi-Fi.
Premium internet over here is just awesome. Fudge.
I mean, I had to, like, on this screen, not show you because your aspect ratio was flipping out so much again. I couldn't stop it.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
But they have the 65-inch version, and I think in terms of aspect ratio with the wings and everything, the 65 is sort of for the place to be.
Yeah, I saw the last show that you and Henrik and Sandy was also joining, that Henrik told or said that the 65-inch is the best looking. And I think, yeah, the aspect ratio are the best when you have a little bit on the sides of the things going outside. So just not the fat kind of.
Yeah, if you're putting a huge
way
screen like
above
98-inch, I think they should be detached from them.
Yeah, something
and
like
have
that.
and have a regular 55 wings on it. Anyways, maybe even 65 are nice because then it gives you that aluminum, continuation.
But I remember, you remember the Avant 85 with that little chin kind of. They came out. There were also something with the aspect ratio, with the soundbar being too small for the TV screen in one package. Then you almost have to separate them. So if you're going for a big screen, almost like the 77 or 83 or something, then you have to have the TV wall mounted by itself and maybe the soundbar.
So I find that whole room is a little bit contradictory to their whole concept of, I think, what they're doing. Like the room is so small that a person that actually purchases these systems, they would never live in a room this small.
But I think the Eclipse, not the Eclipse, but
you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, but I'm not entirely sure that's accurate anymore. No. Especially because maybe you don't notice it over there, but here house prices are pretty crazy. So the people that buy a 500k house can definitely have a living room this size.
Yeah, UK or even regular Europe or something. Yeah, regular size room here. So, I mean, what is it? The kind of normal living areas like.
Well, I'm looking at it from a perspective in North America, right? Like this is not a normal size room. This is literally like I live in this thing is bigger than that. So
yeah,
this is bedroom size.
So this is I think it's just
but
too
here
small.
You also get very full that the 65-inch with all what it is, it's a very big screen, and it maybe looks smaller than it actually is. I think it's kind of a pretty big room, even though it looks pretty small. I think it's very decent size, this room.
Yeah, like Generic Enthusiast says over on Twitch, it's also a bit too narrow for a proper, like, wide soundstage separation, and that's true.
That's my point. Like, it's just that room is too small. Maybe, like, and that's exactly it. Like, that's where I guess it's a little deceiving, because if you go into the shop, usually these things are going to be against the wall, and there's miles of space on each side because it's just an open floor concept. So like that entire experience is completely different in my opinion, because there's nothing to reflect stuff off of.
But in that case, the room size would be more preferable if it was something like in my cinema room that is very a long room that is very narrow. So it's like a 3 meter narrow, but still it's 6 meter wide. So you get the wide modes of actually having front or rear speakers actually do something.
I mean, there is something to say for this attempt anyway to make it more realistic to a home experience. Because I bet you a lot of people that will buy this have living rooms that are potentially larger than this, but I mean, they're not going to be like 200% the size. They're going to be a bit larger.
Mm.
Yeah, that's kind of 85-inch Avant with the Beolab 90s in like the whole setup was like 15 meters wide or something. It was a very wide. It was like this takes up a whole kind of a house almost. Those kind of setups is not what most people prefer to get, but mostly in case with Avant that size and maybe, but regular people or regular Beo people, at least, this is more
I'm gonna
true
poll it
to what they
actually.
get. Yeah.
Does anybody in chat owns BeoPlay EQ headphones or earbuds, whatever? I'm considering them, and I just want to know if they're actually okay or not.
I guess they're okay, so that sense. But since you don't use iPhone, just the EQs should be.
What's so special
Good.
about when you use them with iPhone?
No, just the easyability that Henrik and I talked about sometimes with having AirPods or earphones over a call.
Oh, you just have one at a time?
No, it's just so easy. Just connect them. It's so easy instead of just having to, take your phone, connect to Bluetooth, and all that kind of hassle with it. But otherwise, the sound quality and everything is,
Yeah, with the EQs you can use one at a time too. That they dropped that after the E8 3.0 where one was the master. I mean, you could still use one at a time, but only the right one.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is what I often do because for some reason that works, but not the other way around. But with the EQs, you can use one, like they're both master and secondary. Can't say the S word anymore.
kind of, and the app with the equalizer or manage the sound quality makes a very big difference.
I mean, supposedly they sound quite good. I haven't tested them yet. Not really any time for.
But it's mainly for music or pod listening.
Both.
Mostly, to me, it's mostly podcast listening. That sort of stuff.
Yeah, same.
Maybe I'll just go back to the good old portals. Yes. I'll get the gray ones instead now. Match my match my hair.
Oh, I made a typo in the. How large is your loving room? I obviously mean living room, but they can do dual purpose, I guess.
25 to 35 square meters. A lot of people had a lot of love in there. It's freaking hilarious. Oh, that's funny.
I mean, if this keeps going, I'll gradiate it more to slightly larger in the Mo. But 25 to 35 square meters seems to be 46% of votes, and then 38% are larger than 35 square meters. I mean, I'm larger than 35 square meters because mostly this is like 7 by 7, but that's extremely large here.
Yeah, but my main
on average,
is also very big, but I don't use. When I'm calculating, I'm thinking of my theater room here. So
yeah, but your theater room, from memory, is like 3.5 by 7 ish, right?
Yeah, 6 by 3 or something.
Yeah, okay, that's 18.
Yeah, so that's below 20.
Yeah. I mean, and that's not a small theater room by any.
No. But again, it's very much how in the best kind of cinema setups is a little bit better if the cinema room is a little bit wider. The more squarish it is, it's kind of more problems with the sound. But yeah, the speaker managed very good.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's interesting to see because, I mean, this kind of, I guess, at least for our audience, proves the point that the way they've set it up at Selfridges isn't too far off of what apparently is the common size around here. But, yeah, I mean, test it for yourself. Go to Selfridges if you really can't wait.
I think Harrods will have them soon also, but yeah, we'll see. But
yeah,
but it's better than an open store where like what you said, Willie, where it's on a wall and there's like 5 meters of nothing and 5 meters of nothing or products, and you have side firing drivers, and it's like, what are they meant to bounce off of or interact with?
Yeah.
Or maybe they will depends on the store, right? Like, out of memory, like if I were to do it in the Miami shop, in the old one or in the new one, if there was a new one, I would have probably put it in the back. because then you have that unified. There's a rectangle going in, right?
Yeah.
So you can actually have a full control over the sound. To switch gears a little bit, I listened to finally properly sat down and listen to the 28s.
Mm-hmm.
They sound like large Beosound 2s. Anything above 65, the bass starts to roll off them. Like
It's very much depending on how big the room is, but yeah.
That room acoustically is also very bad because it's a B&O showroom, right?
Yeah, but still, the volume is 65. That's pretty loud. I mean, I don't rarely go over 60.
I did 65 in my apartment on the 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So, I mean, you're the exception.
But volume 65, like next time you do that, just for comparison, could you take a dB meter out? Because volume 65 isn't 65 dB, so to say.
No, it's not.
So but like I understand what you're saying, but depending on how you use them, whether with PowerLink or AirPlay or Chromecast.
No, this was PL straight from the Harmony. Like they sound great with the Harmony as far as the imaging and stuff. It's beautiful, but on their own, I was just a little bit underimpressed. Like compared to the 20s per se that they still have on display, the 20s would walk around them with the bass.
The thing is with the 20s
in a large room, right?
Yeah, but the thing with the 20s is that they have 10-inch woofers, and that's per se. The amazing part is that the 28s actually keep up so well as they do, but they come to a part where, yeah, they're kind of fix it.
Of course.
But still, the 28s for me, it sounds very much in wild mode like the 20s, except they're higher. And that sense, especially in my small room, can make a big difference. Especially when you have a movie or film theater that you want kind of stuff coming all around.
But now, like if I were to buy 28s for, like a theater setup, I would definitely consider the subwoofer with them.
I mean,
depending on, again, small or big rooms.
The way I listen to my shit, right? Like I'm just saying that not everybody's crazy or not everybody's as deaf as I am per se when it comes to action movies, because I really I like the experience of like when the shit blows up, bro. I want it fucking like when the concussion grenade goes off in the scene, dude. I want my ears ringing too. Like I want that shit hard. Like and 90s of course I ended up with. So boy, I can't wait to open these things up again, man. My
have you seen
is going to be on the move.
Coming back to the bass real quick. For me, my 28s roll off much later, partially because I'm not the fan of how hard they attack the bass. So I have it set to -1 or -2. So that gives them a bit more breathing room to go a lot louder before.
Yeah, so the ABL doesn't start choking them right off.
Because like if the EQ line sort of goes, I feel like there's a big bass belly on them that it's not unpleasant, but like I keep on saying, it makes everything sound modern. And in conjoining with the 50s, it's sort of like it's really noticeable. And they more or less sound the same when you do -1 or -2 on the bass, but that also gives them a bit more breathing room before that roll-off kicks in.
Yeah.
And then the 50s never roll off really until you're so loud you're getting fines and stuff.
Yeah.
My 90s never rolled off. Security guard rolled onto my door. That's one thing that happened.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Fucking Karens.
But by the way, both Sandeep and Dab M50 said that the theater pretty much sounds like 28. It may not be the ultimate power, but it's like, as in where the roll-off begins or how super impactful it is, but it as in tonal difference, there's next to none, which is really, really impressive for the people that insist on calling it just a soundbar.
See, but like the 28s, they do have that very Lab 5-ish feel when it comes to the bass response because they fire downwards, right? So, it's a type of a speaker that it feels bad in the apartment because like you're firing this shit into the chandelier below you, literally. Doesn't matter if it's concrete or not. Like when I had the fives, like my God, the bass, bro, like that just
Yeah.
that just went everywhere. So that's the only thing that I don't know. Maybe on the wall in the apartment, on the outside wall, or a staircase wall or a fire emergency wall, not your neighbor's wall, because that's gonna also send it fully in
Also,
there.
fire emergency walls are usually a bit more solid.
That's right. So that's what I'm saying, and it fires into the staircase instead of a dude's bedroom. So, but I'm looking forward to the theater very much. I'm already speccing them into that system that is happening here. I hope that they are. I know that they're going to sound good, or it is going to sound good as a system, but I just really hope to Christ that they're not going to bait us. That we're just going to have a proper product running right out of the gate. There's no hiccups. There's no like, oh, this doesn't support the Halo yet, or whatever. Like we've been there, seen it all, or more or less over the years with the hiccups and the software nonsense, the shenanigans and shit. So I just hope that this product is going to be first one that is solid as it's supposed to be.
I actually think that it will be very solid from the start, especially since they have, especially at the demos that they have shown people, they push very hard on their kind of ability to have old speakers and everything is tuned to be working everything right with all the products and everything. I really hope that Halos and everything should be working from the start.
What I'm really wondering about is the room correction it does to people that have like fives.
Me too.
Because I don't know if you caught that in the press release, Eric, but it has built-in room correction for any speaker attached to it.
Yeah.
So it does the whoop sweep from that to the attached speaker and then correlates it to the built-in speakers. So
it's insane what they're doing with the tech, man. Like I really like how they're pushing this forward. There's nothing like it again, right? There's nothing like it.
The only thing that I didn't really notice from the demo is the kind of tripod microphone that is that a separate buy or is it
No, that comes with it.
That's included right in the box.
Yes, because it's pretty much needed because you can do sort of beam forming with this as well. So you can set up presets for if you, I don't know, sit all the way left on your couch and then, I don't know, in like here. And you can have the optimal sound as much as you can get that without moving anything. So that's quite interesting, really. I mean, the 50s and 90s do that as well. Like, if you have two chairs on opposite sides, right, out of the perfect triangle, you can still tune them to literally flip to one chair or the other.
Yeah, that's pretty slick.
And this will do that to some extent too, to which is physically possible. Is that a Danish?
It's a Swedish cinnamon bun. Newly baked.
I like this theater idea, man. Just like I said.
But the idea is the same from Eclipse and Harmony. That the soundbar is what it is, and the screen is changeable. It's just that why do you have to make it something new again 3 times?
I don't like the limitation. I don't like the limitation of the 77-inch. It should be able to go more. But then again, like, can you, if the LG doesn't make bigger screens at this point other than 88, like, can you put an 88 on it?
83 and a 97.
But if you put can you put a 97 on this thing? Probably not.
Nope.
Is it because of the VESA mount?
Yeah, let's see if I still have the picture up somewhere.
Because to me, that's it
could work very nice with projector or something. Also, maybe a Show Pro or something, or I'm not Show Pro, but.
So it's like Christian says, 77-inch, 43 kilograms, VESA 400 max.
Okay. So that limits, it limits the guy what he wants to do with it.
Yeah. So this is the whole VESA It's not actually called a VESA mount. It's called a screen adapter interface, if I'm remembering it correctly. Because this has like built-in legs that attach to the back of the theater and then holds it all together and upright.
I see. So it doesn't topple and stuff as well.
Yeah, and then the foot on the bottom is attached to the theater independently of the screen interface. So, but within this you have some adjustment. But as you can see, there's a maximal height you can go to. And if more or less, if the VESA mount is like 1/3 away from the bottom with bigger panels, that obviously still becomes more and more and more. And that's not even to mention if the VESA standard becomes more than 400 millimeters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, could it hold more than 43 kilos? Maybe, but I wouldn't.
Then you're pushing fucking some serious weight though, because the other one is double the weight basically of a 77. Like it goes to what, 65 kilos?
Yeah,
70 kilos for 98.
I mean, I think the idea is pretty much from the start, like you can have the TV experience, which is as is, where you can mount 55, 65, and 77. Anything larger or smaller, you do it independently.
Yeah.
Or you come up with something custom. So, I mean, there's that.
Can we talk about a little bit about the cost?
Sure, go for it. Enlighten us. How much are you going to spend, Eric?
No, because for me, this has been a really kind of problematic thing to think of, because it is a soundbar and the marketing as the Beosound. It's a soundbar, Beosound. Yet for me, what it is actually more of a BeoVision, especially when you think of the LG. But since you can't, or since you can have different kinds of TVs, Samsung and whatnot, you can't be called a BeoVision. But what it is, it's more a BeoVision than even the Contour, in my mind. But
well, that's for sure. Yeah, the Contour was always a weird BeoVision nomenclature.
So for a Bang & Olufsen customer, they see this as a BeoVision product. And the problem is that for most people that I've seen from demos, and they are not in the kind of not known to the Bang & Olufsen world, that they see this as the most expensive soundbar. And what I'm actually mostly afraid of is that when they say it's the most expensive soundbar, and because we see the potential of it, you see the potential of it as in connecting more speakers to it and have it as a theater room.
Yeah, for people that don't know and are confused, it's not just a soundbar. It has a built-in AV receiver. It has you can connect up to 16 speakers out onto this, control it all through that. You can put your other sources into it.
So it's
like
not
it's so much more than just a soundbar.
Exactly. So this is not a stage that is a soundbar. This is more a BeoVision, as we in the Bang & Olufsen community is more known to. So when they say it's a Beosound product that is a soundbar, that is the most expensive soundbar, that people may be thrown off it and saying, oh, well, I just get this Sennheiser or something else. It sounds just as good or it's cheaper. That is not known to the Bang & Olufsen world, that know that you can connect all these pieces. That's kind of might be a problem if they want to.
I wish that Skinny Play makes a grill for it that is painted like an oil tanker, because it looks like a freaking oil tanker on a.
There are potentially other colors coming for the fabric.
Yeah,
but you can also ask the bespoke department to do that and put some sails on top.
For me,
it looked like I just built like some Lego sails, whatever. It's like, oh my god, what kind of model is that? And that's a freaking.
Eric, if you ever get one, I want to see yours with that monkey hanging off of it.
Oh, I don't have that, but as any Dane in the comment, they will have it and they will take a picture of it. The Arne Jacobs, not Arne Jacobs, the Kai Borgersen monkey of it.
Yeah, are you going to put like Lego sailors on top of it?
That's what I can do. That I can do for sure. but or nights will be more something more like that. But yeah, for me it actually looks more, especially with the wooden grills or wooden slats to it. It looks like a big whale kind of smiling, this kind of green hump whale or something like that. That kind of whale mouth to it, almost.
I like it more than I like the Harmony lamellas, because the lamellas, they only match when the TV's off, right? Because they're upright.
No.
But when the TV's on, then it just kind of goes like that.
Oh God, I'm looking at something, and I totally forgot to say this in the beginning. We're also on Substack now, if you want the podcast in audio only. If you're annoyed with YouTube for whatever reason, later tonight I'll upload all the audio, and you can listen to it like any other podcast on the on your iPhone or Apple Watch or whatever Android device.
When you're on YouTube, choose Selfridges to watch the real stuff.
First time
Yeah, or
in
if you're on the go.
227.
Like I set this up like a week ago, and I've been putting a few episodes up, and so far so good. So come join the Substack. It's totally free. It's like it doesn't cost anything. So, but if you would rather do audio only because you're on the go, or maybe you're in your car and you just don't want that data to be burning away, later tonight, early tomorrow morning, depending on where you are, it should be up. Is screen off playing supported? Yes. And Substack has an app, and you can just play through the app, and you don't have to have your screen on. So we've been doing this for like a week now, and I forgot to say. So yeah, subscribe to that if you want to be updated, but otherwise I'll post it to YouTube and links and stuff as well. Sorry about that interjection.
No, that's good because
Sorry.
yeah, I really prefer
make
these
another
kind of
coffee.
listening.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why people like the idea of audio only. I don't know, maybe you're doing something like mowing the lawn or something. I enjoy podcasts on YouTube, but you have to pay to have your screen
But
off,
here
which is kind
we're
of...
really showing stuff also. So in that sense, either that we have to kind of describe everything very thorough with what we see, but yeah, it's better to actually watch the YouTube show. I would
Yeah,
say.
so
Otherwise,
I
yeah.
also applied to the video version on Substack, just in case you hate YouTube and Twitch. Who knows? You may be out there. So a video coming soon, but I tried to upload it the other day, and our podcasts are too large with video and too many changing images, so it doesn't like that just yet. I have to probably do that in sections and stuff.
To get back to the cost, what do you think? Because I saw the show last time a little bit, but what do you think about the cost of the most expensive soundbar there is?
I would rather, if anybody does any sort of marketing, I would rather it be, for everybody's sake, be known as the best soundbar than the most expensive.
Yeah.
And I don't get why it's
now,
embraced that it's the most expensive. It's like, please don't say that. It may be true, but it's not the point of it.
Some people will buy it just because of this. It is going to be the most expensive, so they can, yeah, I have the most expensive, but I would actually think that it is the most or the best soundbar there is right now. But again, we're kind of missing out what they actually could sell it with, the extra kind of connectivity.
Yeah. By the way, slightly unrelated note. For anybody listening over at B&O, if you're into marketing, I'm going to fucking call you out again. Not because it's terrible, but because it's almost negligent. I go to the B&O website.
Yeah.
And it's not even on the top 2
A9.
listed at the moment. It was a week
A9.
ago, but it's not anymore.
It's a new product, and they're showing A9 and yeah, the BeoPlay stuff again.
Yeah.
Top 2. It was released
Why?
I don't
a
know.
week ago, barely. Yeah.
Is it further deep down? Scroll. See where it's at. Is it even on the front
No.
page? Really?
The speaker A9 headphones, and then the Harmony I see there with 28s.
Yeah, you
I
have
see
to
an
go
A9,
to Beosound.
Explorer, a Stage, EXs. I see the New York store.
Yeah. It's already forgotten.
I see the haute couture Balenciaga thing.
Which is already gone.
Yeah. Oh, there we are. Join the House of Bang & Olufsen. So it's nearly at the bottom.
Yeah, but if you're gonna change regions and stuff that you always do down there, so yeah.
I'm
But
in the
that usually
Netherlands.
changes automatically.
I'm in the Netherlands in terms for a region. I swapped to the US and it's the same.
But it's so far down that for people that changing their regions, that's the only reason they will see.
Oh
this
yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah. Otherwise, you don't go that far down.
No,
So-
you immediately go to the products up here.
For
At least I
the
do.
people that have to change the regions, they are the only people that will see this on the website if they don't know what they're actually going through.
Like, I was sort of, I don't know,
It had
taking my
1 week.
crystal ball out yesterday when I was talking to
Yeah.
somebody, saying like, they launched a theater. They're going to do 2, maybe 3 posts and then nothing for a few months again.
Exactly.
And I look on
But-
the website today and it's like,
Yeah.
where the fuck are you?
Barely a week.
no,
and
now
then
they
it's
put the levels on sale, right? Because they have an overstock of them, and they only put the sale online, so all the dealers have to match the price now, and they're basically losing profit margin because they bought it for the old money, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Like, it's stupid.
Also, if you're in
Yeah.
charge of website design, this is also like you go to soundbars. I have the choice of all soundbars, Beosound Stage, or Theater. Like, why do I need the all soundbars tab?
It's like in Russia, you have the ability to vote for Putin or someone else that will be killed, but then again Putin.
Because you can get 3 columns, I guess, or lines of text there, right? So it looks easier.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
you click on
Kind
all
of-
soundbars, what happens then? Does it show you both of them?
Very
Yeah.
much like the old days with the BeoPlay site. That you have BeoPlay products and they had like 3 or 4. It's like, ooh, yeah, wow. But yeah.
But
What
yeah,
color balance should I buy? Or I mean, balance the stage.
to me, just aluminium and black, or all black.
Aluminium
Anthracite?
and get Prestige to hook you up.
Well, that's what I'm debating, to get the
No problem.
anthracite with the walnut.
Yeah,
Or silver
yeah, sure.
with the walnut.
Uh,
But I also like the wooden one.
Yeah, but for me, it will be actually, since you have it wall mount directly at you or put down on TV bench.
It's gonna
or
be
something.
sitting. It's gonna be sitting on the desk, on this
Yeah,
little
then
whatever they have
maybe,
the TV
yeah, so
on.
Then you actually see the wood better if you had all around it. Otherwise, when it's in front of you, then you want to see the wood. You want the wood in your face, the real hard wood directly at your face. So read it at this position, or if you tilt it down and have it on the TV bench, then you have it, as you said, on the sides, and then some quadrat or something.
I mean, I do love the natural alu with a prestige cover, like I do have it.
Yeah. Anthracite also would be looking very nice.
Oh, Willie Skype crashed. So maybe it wasn't the Wi-Fi. Maybe.
Fucking Skype crashed. Like, I don't know what happened. It's weird.
Yep.
But in case you missed it, go over support Prestige Creators on Instagram. Link is in the both chats.
But again, I really like this kind of the tables, the floor stand for this LG and stage setup. I really like it. Very much like the Horizon back in the day. Not far off today, but back in the day. I really like the look of it.
I wish they made the walnut stage.
Yeah. Maybe
Uh,
Prestige has
Should hit up Bespoke and pay fucking theater money for it.
Yeah,
You will
also,
almost be, yeah.
Serge made a good point. If you go to the TV section on B&O's website, the theater is not on there as the TV experience, even though they sell it as a TV experience in stores pretty soon.
Yeah, it's kind of they're kind of missing out.
I
there.
think 90% of it is
Should
going to be
be.
TV experience.
Exactly.
Probably.
It's the same with stage. that it is a TV experience, but yeah, it's a very good sound experience for sure. And some people will get it as a sound experience, but yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anything being sold as a stage not as a sound bar.
Also,
look at it. Oh yeah, look at it.
If somebody wants some custom oak covers for the 28s, Prestige makes them now, coming soon.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
What colors?
All the colors.
Oh, any color now, I guess, right? Oh,
that's
Prestige.
You know, Prestige. It's like, what color do you want? Well, what color do you want? We'll do it.
So he's making them, not just painting them, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Good for you, man.
I mean, and if they're price competitive, that's going to be extra sick because, I mean, the B&O ones aren't exactly cheap.
No. Can you even get walnut ones now, I wonder?
Yeah.
With those anthracite discontinued?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because it's on the bronze, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the covers from B&O are like €1,100 for one speaker, I think. But I'm not entirely sure. Like, there's been so many price hikes that the prices that are in my mind make no sense anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But this is really rather sexy, so that's always good.
That new balance with aluminium is sexy as hell, bro. Jesus, it looks so good.
It has very much of Bang Olufsen.
Yeah, that's not technically out yet.
It's been out in
we
the
don't
shop
care
since
about
I
that
started
anymore.
working there.
Yeah, well, supposedly it's not coming out, or wasn't supposed to be out until I think the 13th, so like 2 days from now.
Yeah, but we don't care about that anymore.
Good stuff.
It's not our problem.
Don't be mad at me for leaks. Like, you guys
No,
are
exactly.
leaking. You're worse than the
It's in the
Titanic
ship.
after the
Dude.
iceberg. This is bad.
Don't leak the stuff that we leak to you. But yeah, good one.
How does the theater that supports 16 speakers Herr Vagabond? How does this fit into the 7.1.4? If I could correct these.
So, Herr Vagabond, the theater supports up to 16 loudspeakers. How does this fit to 7.1.4? If I count correct, those are 11 loudspeakers instead of 16. So there's 12 internally, and then you can add up to 16 to them. How you set that up will depend on what you want to do, obviously. The Atmos decoding is 7.1.4, which is the Atmos, which isn't the highest layer of audio redirection, because Atmos is an audio upscaler technically. So you can have 7.1 plus 4 ceiling speakers is more or less how you're supposed to think of it. But with True Image, you can add more speakers, and then the B&O part will figure out how to add more speakers to that.
Or where the sound is coming from, which one and how
because
much.
the Harmony does 7.1 maximally. And so my height speakers there sort of aren't supposed to make any noise, yet the True Image figures out what noise needs to go up top. And if you add anything over Atmos, that's how it more or less will work. I mean, most Atmos, it's like Henrik explained this once, and it gets him mad every time, because it's like Atmos is about as terribly marketed as B&O products are. As in, people say Atmos and think, oh, height speakers. Well, that's not it. Atmos is literally positioning sound in 3D space. With 7.1, you have sort of a 2D plane of sound. The reason you add up or down firing speakers is because that makes it 3D, right? So that makes you can position sound like in space easier. But it's not necessary for Atmos. It's just preferable.
Cool.
So there's that.
Especially since
and that's
even
technically what
small...
Atmos does. Most Atmos tracks on Blu-ray discs and whatnot are encoded in 7.1 because there's not
your microphone switched. Oh no, it's back.
Oh, it's fixed.
Wait, on my side?
Yeah. You just
It went
weird.
cray for a
But yeah,
small
we've been
while,
beating this fucking Atmos topic for so long. Like, True Image is a completely different animal, dude. Like, the way you configure the speakers, they'll play. This is what you gotta understand when it comes to this B&O thing.
Yeah, but it's one of
Like,
the main selling points, and I kind of feel like it's worth it to explain it right. Because, I mean, I can say, like, watch, I don't know, whatever. I don't even know what number of podcasts it was the last time we kept on yapping about this.
Oh
Yeah,
God, there's
correct.
a number
Like
of them.
David
One of
says,
them, Eric talks about it. I mean, Henrik talks about it for a while too.
yeah, like
And he
David
broke
says,
it down for me.
explaining
Anyway.
Atmos is like explaining an offside rule in football.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy have to be, and then the ball comes. Yeah.
But basically what it is, envision a 3D cube, you sit in it somewhere, and the tuning mic tells you where you sit in that 3D cube, and the director sort of wants a sound to be somewhere in that room. You can do this with 2 speakers already, can be Atmos certified, but more speakers will be better generally. And then there's the max of how much can you calculate. But that's where the True Image shines, because the Atmos apparently is sort of, I don't want to say limited, because 7.1.4 is an amazing system. But you can make it more if you want to.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not, the Atmos from Netflix and stuff won't be anything near that.
Of course not.
I mean, the Atmos from Netflix is a lossy codec for maximally 8 speakers. So.
Still sounded good in my house.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, most people. Yeah, that's no problem. But if you want a really hardcore cinema experience, that's another thing. But yeah, most people will think that when they buy a phone that's Dolby Atmos, that I get surround sound. Really.
I mean, and this is kind of where it is, right? Like, I'm wearing Portals right now, and they're Atmos certified, and they only have 2 drivers. Yet somehow when you listen to the demos, you can literally place where shit is around you.
Yeah. 360 audio.
A similar thing happens with home cinema.
Yeah, but that's more or less, that's psychoacoustics at that point is what we're talking about here now, and how you what's going on based on the timing and the processing of that sound. That's how that whole experience.
I mean, maybe the easier difference between thinking about it is that
translates to the image.
Yes, a 7.1 is a decoding way of, like, your left speaker needs to be X loud and do X frequency at X level. With Atmos, it is there is a sound in the room that needs to be roughly here, and it needs to be a loudness, let's say 80 dB. With Atmos, that knows like, oh, there's these speakers here. That means if it needs to be here instead of here, that this speaker needs to fire 60% and this one needs to be 70% to make it perceive like it's here.
But by the way, with the theater, with all the kind of speakers that it is, do we know how it's set up for like the harmony is 3 speakers in one? So it's a center speakers, and we have a left and right that all can be a center speaker. But if you're in a speaker group with your Beovision, it's 3 speakers. And I think the Eclipse is all the same. Also, it's 3 speakers, because you have a very powerful center speaker unit. And also this, is it almost 5 speaker units or is it 3 speaker units? What do you think would be accessible in the app? Or just 1?
How do you mean?
When you go in and sort your speaker groups in your the TV with the Eclipse or Harmony, the TV's speaker groups from Harmony is 3 separate speakers. You have the center speaker, you have the left and right.
Yeah.
You can either use the center speakers as pure center speakers and black out the left and right and use.
Yeah.
Or you can just use. Yeah. So, do you think the center or the theater will be done the same way, that it will be manageable as 3 speakers in one unit, as we have just the center part of it, or the whole thing is just 1 speaker group?
No, you can absolutely do that. You can use it as a center, in which case it'll be the two 6.5-inch drivers, the tweeter and the 5-inch driver.
Yeah, so that's
composite
the center
driver.
unit. Yeah.
But you can, there's 12 drivers in here, and then you have the up firing, the wide firing, and then here you probably have what you would use as the left and the right if you were to use it as a 3.0 system.
Yeah.
On itself, it's more than 3.0 because there's a lot of virtualization going on with. This is a bit above my head with how they control phase and that sort of thing, but between these speakers that are so close together, so they can sort of go diagonally forward, but also just straight up. And this is above my pay grade because
But that's when somebody said that they sound very much like a Beolab 28. That
B&O said that. And so far,
so
everybody has agreed that heard it, that it actually does.
And that's just to show that the smart thinking of technology is actually managing these kind of speakers in such a good way that they're really good. You can get these kind of sound levels and performance.
Still, though, kind of feels bad for the 28s because you're buying a pair of speakers for double the money that the theater costs. And it sounds the same, apparently.
Similar. It may not be the ultimate in top-end power, but close enough. It'll sound the same. But B&O is sort of marketing as like buy a theater and a set of 28s and use the 28s as rear speakers. And the Atmos and the cleverness of the tech will figure out how to deal with it all.
I'm very interested in hearing those speakers. I'm very interested in hearing them. Or this, the theater. 28s. It sounded good when I first time heard them, but now like actually spend time, like a few hours around these speakers.
I think for my setup to have a theater instead of the harmony and also to have 4 or quad setup of 28s, that would just be a dream setup.
Oh, yeah.
For pure
theater,
floor,
in my opinion, like if you got
soft floor. Experience.
If you got soft floor like here in America, I don't think they will sound good. In the apartment, it's a different story when you get concrete, because then it's not as flex, right?
Yeah.
So that was the big difference. Also, like listening to the 5s in the shop on the concrete floor and listening to the 5s in the client's house on a wood joist floor. The whole fucking thing is going with you.
So. Serge asks, is it already known if the B&O app works the same on the TV screen as the Harmony Eclipse? Hence, you can set up all the channels accordingly. To my knowledge, no, you do it all in the app. Because now, basically, what you do in on the panel on the Harmony, where you set speakers and levels and that sort of thing, you just do it in your phone or iPad app, or wherever the app works. Android device.
Speaking of the app, I don't know why, like if my level was in a timeout for too long and it finally like came to its senses. Everything works on it now.
Sweet.
Everything works on it. The only thing that I do not understand why it doesn't is you can't pick a B&O radio station. Source not supported.
Huh?
Like, how does that make sense? Also, from radio stations.
We didn't catch any of that. You roboted out.
Oh. I said that if you have a B&O radio, on the B&O radio it'll turn on.
Yeah.
But if you go to TuneIn, the TuneIn will not turn on the radio. So if I just like type in lounge radio, not on the network, but yeah, dude, this internet here is absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Radio Montreal.
It's absolutely ridiculous. So it's not reachable because it's turned off. Anyways, I'll carry on, and then once the soul boots up, I'll talk about it. But yeah, I can't play from tune-in. I don't know if anybody else has that issue on the level or not, but I can't play out of it.
By the way, also on the Beosound website, they're really promoting that the G2 or LG G2 screen is preferable for the filter. How far back? I mean, with our kind of C7s, C9s, how far back is it possible, or then to integrate
C9.
Mini LED.
C9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as it like the minimum spec for LG comes from the internal processor and WebOS version.
Right.
And it needs an Alpha 9 chip Gen 2, I think. And it needs
that's
to be
in the C9.
WebOS 4 or 4.5 or higher.
Yeah.
And that's mostly for remote and firmware changes. So this is why like an LG B series won't work, because that has an Alpha 7 processor in it. And I think the newer, cheaper A version has an Alpha 5 processor into it.
All right.
It says action not supported by selected product. Can't play tune-in radio from the level. I do not understand why.
Because it doesn't have tune-in built in. Only B&O radio.
Oh, I guess the way it worked in my apartment, that it would always join. Fuck. Ah, that's annoying. Okay, well, it's what it is.
Well, it's manageable.
Yeah, why would you have that then as a tab?
Because some devices do more than one thing.
I understand that. Like my M3 does, so put it on the M3. It shouldn't be a B&O radio on the M3 because fudge, right?
Yeah.
So.
The problems that we have.
I mean, this is the best preview of the app so far. In the dude called the Tech Chap. He's British, and he went to the IFA opening. And
yeah, I saw one Swedish channel also made with this app. Maybe it's not as slow and manageable.
I'm playing it at half speed.
All right. So,
so because like sometimes the scrolling is a bit fast.
Yeah, like most people do when they're demo and kind of in the stress. Oh, this is how the app works, and just. So yeah, that from the Swedish guy I saw that made a demo of it.
I mean, and there you have the frequency tilt, and like this is somebody's phone there from B&O, because I doubt you they would let you have access on your app.
I don't know. It's a demo phone, just for that.
That's cool.
So it's the app will be quite different. The thing I still like is that it has like a built-in switch. So from my router, I only need to pull one cable for the TV and the soundbar to get internet. And from here, I can get a wired internet to the 50s.
Yeah, it's a 4-port basically.
Yeah.
Or a 3-port, I guess, because always one is occupied. That's sweet.
Technically, if you go wired internet, then 2 are occupied, because one Ethernet cable has to go to the panel for remote control functions.
Mm-hmm. And then you can have one for if you get a peripheral of any kind. That'd be sweet.
Like a NUC, a NAS, or whatever.
I so love the idea that they had gone ahead with the PUC KB. Fucking hell, man. That is just the best thing they could have done.
Why?
Because North America, the amount of cable boxes you have that don't have CEC is insane.
It's fucked up to control it, bro. Like you can't, because it's like it doesn't have if it doesn't have CEC, then you have to have the thing somewhere.
Yeah.
So.
Well, from our Discord, I know of already a few that are sold in North America.
Yeah.
And for the first time in a long time, they're actually delivering stuff out in North America at the same time as here.
Which is good, because we've sold 2 of them basically.
But they should come with a label that is not they should not be placed above fireplace. It should be a no. A dealer should be. We can't install it. It's impossible. You can't do it.
Yeah, so here you can load. Yeah, you have your sound options, but you can also see, like, they go back to the Pentas that you can still connect and have presets for.
There's a big marketing they do with that.
This is obviously early beta because like the
There's
pictures
any
aren't
images
loading
loading.
yet. What are the ETAs like in Montreal? I think November or so if you're quick.
Mhm.
Because it depends on shop and how much they've sold and allocation. And I mean, this may be one of the best problems for B&O to have, that there's so much demand that they don't know how to fix it initially.
Mm-hmm.
This is so much
I
better.
think this is a game changer product, dude. This is a fucking game changer product for them. This should have been out years ago, in my opinion. But
most of the newer products has been game changer, especially 28s, this level stage. Most of the products are actually game changer, I would say. So hopefully their storage is big and ready. Especially since, when is it? One of the 1st or 3rd October that dealers should have it.
But
yeah, your dealer may have it sooner than if the post is sooner, but
yeah,
like the delivery people, depends a bit.
I wonder what the network link does, that you can probably pick whatever playing source is playing to join it.
Yeah, or you can set what is your primary or secondary throughout the house or something like that.
The B&O radio. I like it, man. I'm really looking forward to this thing.
I mean, I'm kind of with Serge in the fact that we don't like that screen interface is gone, that you can't go, like, literally, because the thing has a panel of itself, right? Like, why do I need to take my phone out for this? I get it to a point because it gives the flexibility of using any screen with it. And this is partially the way to get around being able to use like a Samsung or whatever other brand, because you're basically stripping out the audio only.
That's the reason why it's not a BeoVision.
Yeah. So I get it to a point, but I would rather have that integration that, like, I want to mess around with speaker groups that and I have the remote in my hand that it's like, oh no, I need to put that away and get my phone out again. I don't know. It's a minor gripe, really. Because
yeah, but often when you are in the sofa or couch, that you often have this and your phone. So
I don't know. I kind of find the app makes more sense, especially as from an installer's perspective, because if you gotta name shit and do things and set up speaker groups, then at least the keyboard pops up where you gotta go with the remote up, left, okay, next, whatever, to the next letter. Like, it's just, this is way more intuitive in my eyes to do it through the app than, and quite honestly, let's face the fact, it's 2022, bro. Like, you're gonna have apps more and more being involved with the
current
product.
year.
So, like, you know what I mean? It's the same. At least, you know, now there's only one app, because remember the yesteryears, like when the BV11 was cool, when you had a keyboard app, you had the app to set it up, then you had a Beolit 12 app, and then you had a BeoTool, and then there was a BeoLiving app, and so at least now it's all unified. I just wish that they also put the BeoLiving intelligence capabilities into that one app, so it's just consolidated all into one. I don't know if it's possible.
Yeah, at one point I had more Beo apps than I have recharge apps for my phones.
They had more apps than fucking products at one point.
You have a bunch of those when you have an electric car. Unfortunately, you use like one or two, but
are those other apps not functional but still hanging out on your phone?
No, just but you remember the BeoPlay, as you said, BeoLink and BeoAV and BeoR, the augmented reality. So many apps they had. Oh man. But the Beo app that they use now is way better.
But this is the 77 this guy is sitting next to, and
yeah,
I mean, the ratios aren't awful, but the 65 is
No.
sort of the sweet spot.
Yeah.
Yes.
The proportion or the ratio is not the problems here with the sound bar. For me, it's more like the floor stand. It's very small. Maybe a thicker floor stand or just
So you're
table
the
stand.
first
would
one that
look
said thicker. Everybody else wanted thinner.
No, thinner. Maybe if they will have the planetary moving stand for that, but otherwise, for the 77 to have a little bit more width to it than this, because that's maybe the problem that I have. That the disc is too small for the size of the TV. Because I come from the era of Avant 55 when the dish was very big.
Yeah,
And I like that kind of proportion. Yeah.
Yeah, that
So
disc was like 60 centimeters or something, right?
It was heavier than
huge.
too.
Yeah.
When I had it in my living room, I almost like drove over it with my wheelchair because it took up so much space from the wall. That just tremendous. But something like that would be more fitting in size with the 77-inch. And I hope, or not hope, but just sad that they don't make a planetary moving stand for the 55 or 65-inch.
Well, speaking of pricing, which we totally dodged that we were trying to get into, this floor stand is €2,800. So if it was going to be planetary, you probably add, another $1,000 or something?
Yeah.
I mean, in
I don't
terms
see how that would be planetary.
The Eclipse
and it looked good.
Was 1,000 extra or 11,000 something, right?
the
or
Eclipse was
€1,100.
€1,250, I think.
Yeah.
So this is quite a bit more expensive for the floor stand. I think
Exactly.
with the last price changes, because we bought it cheap.
Yeah.
I think it's now $2,000 for the Eclipse. I think so. This is €800 more, which is.
I will very much play around with some different ideas of having different ideas for stands or table stands or floor stands with this kind of design. Because
I think it's gonna be the first thing I'm buying in Florida for sure as a speaker.
Floor stand or
I'm gonna buy it on a floor stand, yes.
77 or 65 inch.
I think it would look sick. I'll go with the 65. I don't think I can afford room to have 90s and a 77-inch screen. Like that's a big apartment.
And you have neighbors.
Still,
and I have neighbors too, right? So
but the claims
I don't
that
really
Bang
care
Olufsen
for watching TV that much.
Yeah, but the Bang Olufsen claims that with the extra aluminium on the side, the things would actually sound better. That's kind of an interesting
It's going to
idea.
be marginal, mostly because with the fins they can control the reflections because it's always in the same
Further,
spot.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as I showed you that the idea of having a 55-inch screen on a 65-inch, same could be with a 65-inch screen with the base of the 77. That could actually, for some people at least, work to have some idea of. It's very hard to see it on the screen because the background is almost the same color.
Seemingly, you're the only actual lover of the design of the Eclipse. Everybody else thinks it's pretty good, but
I wasn't
why
so
is there
keen
extra?
on
And
the
you go,
Eclipse when it
no,
came
the
out."
Eclipse is not wide enough on 55. It needs to look
And
like
the
an
thing
Eclipse.
is,
I don't like the look of the Eclipse, to be honest, because of that it just protrudes and stuff.
yes, same with me. But now when I use it and have it, it happens something. You just not. It's something that happens with the design of it. So in that sense, it's something that happens, or something is more interesting than. But I still think that it could work. You can't really see it here. I think in real life that would be way cooler. Or even a 65-inch on a 77 base would be even a better example of this in real life. But yeah.
I bet you if you, with the 77 and the wider wings, if you put that in front of a white wall or some glass like windows or something like that, you're not even going to notice it all that much. Because it's just going to assume the color.
Yeah. But still, I like the design of it.
But you decided...
you can't really see it here.
Yeah. It needed to be like an Eclipse. Yeah. I don't know. For me, that's a no-go. That's a bit too much. I mean, the Eclipse is nice, but I don't think it's a classic design. I think it's too hobbled together.
Yeah, but for me it works because
it works. It's a nice TV.
yeah.
I'm not saying that. It's just, I don't know. It's not a BV11, let's say.
No, but it will never be again, sadly.
Max says reflections on the 77. Yeah, potentially. But you can see here, like this guy is sitting next to the 77, and the reflections aren't too bad. Like, and it depends
for
also.
me,
like, you probably also can only like with a mirror, you have to be like dead on. So, are you going to be like looking
the
at
reflection
the TV,
that
like,
I get
hello?
when if you put the remote on your TV bench or something in between the screen and where you have the remote, this reflect more than these.
I think that once you start
avenues.
watching a movie, you'll never even see the sound bar below it, to be honest.
No.
Because you'll be immersed in it, and it's just going to be, I don't think it's going to be a problem.
This is probably partially also why the top is black fabric and black glass, and to minimize those reflections coming off and bouncing up again.
I am so excited for this thing, man.
I also would much more to see someone do the theater setup on the wall mount and have a projector on the wall or something, a projector screen or something. But also
people will do that. Yeah, I mean, it comes with a little table stand for the theater itself in the box.
Yeah.
And wall mounting, like brackets. I don't want to call it a bracket. It's probably similar to the stage, because I don't think that type of wall mount is meant to hold itself plus a screen. But I mean, if you wanted to, I think the newest LG projectors run off of WebOS 5 or 6 even, so you could potentially integrate your B&O remote with an LG projector.
Yeah, would be also very interesting to see STB brackets, what they will do at first with this product.
Oh, Sandy Boy said he spent 45 minutes in front of it and he didn't notice a thing reflection-wise, and it was a super bright store. Yeah,
I don't think that is an issue.
I mean, I like that shiny B&O stuff. I think in a former life I was a magpie or something. Like, ooh, shiny.
And even if you look at it, like, they're not going to be as tragic or even nowhere near as bad as, like, let's say a set of lap 12s with the BV12. That was all shiny, but did you notice that? Like, no.
But this reminds me very much of the Beovision 12.
I mean, my sister has 12.3s and 12.2s, and I mean, that's got to be the most reflective room I've been in, and it's not that bothersome at all. If anything, it's pretty.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm very excited for this product.
I can't wait to get my hands on this.
But don't you think that this design of it kind of reminds you of the Beovision 12 almost? Like a thin aluminium soundbar underneath. It looks very good.
Except it wasn't that thin. It was like
no, but
it was like 4 inches of aluminium around it.
Yeah.
I mean, just like a BV7 55, right? The amount of aluminium bezels on those things was enormous. Back in the day, it was flat and small for the size, but
I mean, the Beovision Avant 32 was flat screen. It wasn't a flat TV.
I mean, a 1265 is almost the exact same size as a 77.
Yeah. Oh, the bezels. I remember the 40-inch Beovision 7. Oh man, what a big TV it was. It's like these bezels. 7 or 8 centimeters or something. But I think Sandy was on the last podcast that said that I mean a gold or Eric edition is going to come. So yeah,
it is kind of your edition.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah. Steven says, wondering if third parties will sell those aluminium wing extenders for non-LG TVs like Samsung to get the edge-to-edge look. I looked it up was it last week or the time before? But the difference in like width of the Samsung versus the LG 55 and 65 inch was 1.5 millimeters. So, do you mind if you sit more than 5 foot away? Can you see that 1.5 millimeter difference? That it just doesn't line up? I doubt it. I wonder if it's necessary for that matter.
If you're that nitpicking, then get an LG screen. I mean, why even bother having the Samsung? Yeah,
get it calibrated.
If you're that serious of millimeters lining up, just get the LG screen.
Do
it properly.
Do you think B&O will provide the option to replace the aluminium part into oak like the smoke oak version of the Beosound stage? No, I don't think so. That if you look at the aluminium version of this and you think that can all be wood, like it could potentially, maybe ask the bespoke department. You're going to pay through the nose for that. But I doubt there's many ways in which you can easily reproduce repeatedly these curves that are in there everywhere in wood.
This would have to be CNC machined out of a solid block of wood.
Yeah, and then you better hope you don't find a knot or a piece of rot somewhere in any of it. And
that'd be so tough, bro.
Yeah.
To make this happen.
I mean, with aluminium castings and stuff, it's already hard, right? To not discolor it or like.
The only other way I could see it is molded plywood, just like the Eames chair. That would be the only way. But if you mold wood like that, then you'd have to reinforce it with some sort of a metal because it's going to warp in the heat or even humidity, depends on where, right? Because these things basically end up on every part of the world at some point.
Yeah, I doubt that'll be a thing. But if you they have a bespoke department now, like Eric has been asking for years. They can probably make you silly, expensive things custom.
But I wonder what the first the Beosound theater collaboration will be.
What do you mean?
We had Balenciaga and
no.
What was the other leather that Willie loved? What was the name?
The French. God.
Italian. Willie, what was that leather stuff that you loved so much?
Berluti, that's it.
Berluti, yeah. So these kind of collaboration. When do you think the first Beosound theater so-and-so collaboration would be?
Who they're gonna go with? I have no idea even.
When do you think
how
they'll come?
soon? 1 year or 3 months?
I don't think it's gonna be under a 1 year for sure. Then they're gonna come up with some nonsense. I don't know who, because I can't even wildly guess, because like I've never heard of the freaking whatever the shoe people there, the Berluti.
A skateboard Supreme kind of edition.
I think they're part of the Louis Vuitton group, so maybe we'll get giant LVs like on the side of these wings.
Right. Yes, of course. It's the world we live in with collaborations. So
or we get a Supreme cover.
Yeah, I said.
I think they have do they have the piano black? Not piano black. They have the anthracite now, right?
Anthracite, right?
The theater. It goes anthracite with this.
Oh, yes.
But piano black would be nice.
Gonna match for once. They're gonna match
with the 50s that you got.
The 28s.
Because it would match your 50s.
I can see the piano black coming as a special one-off color for a while.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yes.
Curious if we make a bronze and brass edition. That's bespoke department for bronze now. Anything bronze is bespoke because apparently they got so much of it that they just made it special so people pay more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of those two colors, so for me, I couldn't be remotely bothered even.
so the three standard colors for this will be normal aluminium, anthracite, and gold. And that's
Like the same on the Beolab 28s.
and the same on the 50s now too.
Yeah. Even anthracite?
Yes.
Oh.
Anthracite 50s coming in soon.
Yeah. Look mean.
I mean, anthracite 90s coming in soon too.
Top part?
What?
The 50s.
Oh, the wings are supposed to be the same color, yes. For some, because on the brass and the bronze ones and the gold ones, the wings are colored with everything else as well.
It was only the piano black that you paid extra for that they didn't do it.
Yeah.
Mikey, are they going to be matte?
The anthracite ones.
Yeah, so is it matte? Or is it going to be polished?
Polished like the
yeah,
28s.
it has a matte color, but it is polished. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's like the 28s in anthracite if you see them in the shop.
It will match the 28s.
And I mean it's a hard color because it sort of changes with the daylight quite a bit, because at night it's
very sunny. It's very gunmetal gray almost, but in the evening it's very dark and almost piano black.
Yeah,
can be. So in that sense, I like it.
So
how much extra will there be?
Have wood colors in light oak, smoked oak, and I think that was it at the moment.
Not walnut yet.
Yeah,
not walnut.
No, walnut. Smoked oak will be the walnut. Sadly.
I mean, I'm pretty sure walnut will eventually make its way to it.
More like bespoke than actually being store. Sadly.
Prestige doesn't make the shape tiles, right, in walnut or any wood. Okay.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Is this the important? Oh yeah, about to be.
Let's go to the color sections. At the bottom,
will there be a price extra?
For what?
For the anthracite and gold?
I don't know.
I actually don't think so. How much extra is there extra for the 28s? Are they extra?
No.
I don't think so. No. I think the base colors will be the same price. So the gold, aluminium, and anthracite will be the same cost. I look at it. Gold. Oh, yes.
So, yeah, black anthracite aluminium with dark oak. I mean, actually, for a gold product, I don't think it looks that bad on the theater. I don't love it.
I don't like gold, yeah.
But it looks better than it does on 28s to me.
You're going to end up with the gold one. Certain of it.
I would never have a gold one in this kind of category. I will, maybe a Beosound label or something like that. I could imagine having a gold, like I did with the brass tones. But no, a TV would not be able to be in gold, sadly. Would be cool, especially in my cinema room with gold. Maybe 28 in gold and a theater in gold, because that Swedish royal blue color that I have on the walls and this gold, I mean, that's my favorite combination of colors with almost the true patriotic Swedish gold and blue flag.
So basically what you're saying is you want the first collaboration for the theater to be with IKEA.
Yep.
You want it in blue and yellow.
You have to mount them yourself. Yeah.
Serge says, I like the brass way better than the gold. Brass is a bit darker. I have a feeling this is totally sales related. As in,
The
like,
brass is
the people that
very...
liked it a lot, but the people that didn't like it were like, can't you do this lighter, like gold? And that's how they decided to it.
The brass is very much a Scandinavian thing. The rest of gold is for everyone else. I think everything is from China to Saudi Arabia to Nigeria to even US would be the regular gold. For them, it's just, why don't you make it a real gold color? Why do you have this kind of matte brownish tone to it? So yeah,
I mean,
I get it.
as far as I'm aware, though, you have the custom department and the bespoke department now, and you can still get the brass on just about anything from the custom department, which is the sort of mid-level of creating your own. And the bespoke is like, go mad. You can choose screw colors if you want to.
Yeah, coral, this 1997 coral or magenta, purple, pinkish,
Yeah.
all colors. Yeah. What's his name on the old forum? The Millennium guy that had all his stuff in the Millennium on Magneta, kind of pink, purple color. The Beolab 1 speakers and everything.
I don't remember.
I think it's Millennium guy that I think he's got everything from his wife and something. She said it passed, but kept everything. I kind of like that everything goes together, especially these kind of crazy colors. But yeah, especially I also like the coral green tone to the Beolab 4000. They had. Yeah. You don't like anything that's not in the 50 Shades of Grey. I know, but yeah.
No, I like the piano black a lot.
That's in the gray scale.
Just,
I mean, in colors. Imagine a world in colors now, Michael.
Yeah.
Like blue or red.
I mean, the blue 8000s or the blue ones weren't that bad. The ones in
pathetic though.
the ones in red were. It was more Bordeaux. It made it like look old almost. Like even when they were new, it made it look old.
Oh,
but that was the colors of the
dark
mid
red color that
90s.
they had.
Yeah. I mean,
they were Bordeaux.
Yeah, the blue wasn't so bad.
I like the mid 2000s, 2005 when I had the very much blue, like laser blue and red, especially for the nines. They made a blue cover or red cover.
So, by the way, Willie, this is about the best picture I can give you from the back. So that screen interface module attaches like in here on the stage or on the theater, and then the VESA mount is in this sort of back panel.
Hidden.
Very elegantly done.
There is room for an Apple TV in here.
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, they show it. Yeah. One of the demos. But, and they really pushed hard on this kind of internals being upgradable. But they really pushed it because of it being the cost, but it is the most expensive soundbar that it will be long lasting, at least 10 years, as I said.
Well, I also think it's part of the new business focus, right? Because they're going for the cradle to cradle certification, as in this is all super eco-friendly and whatnot. So the upgradability gets you to that label, meaning like you never have to toss anything.
Exactly. So a new Dolby Atmos blah 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 version or Dolby blah blah blah.
Yeah, maybe we'll get Atmos X, which is even less lossy or something.
Yeah. Something like that, yeah. But yeah, that idea, especially since the idea of the Eclipse is pretty much what this idea is, that you have the soundbar, but the TV is changeable, but it never came to that. Then the version 2 came to it, but then you have the harmony. But again,
Well, the harmony can still do that. It just you need a different offset bracket, and you're okay. The problem with the Eclipse is the cutout, and LG kept on making different size TVs.
Yeah, but for people like Samsungs and these kind of weird people.
Yeah,
Philips.
but I mean, it's okay to my mind anyway to like solely focus on one brand because all the OLED panels come from LG anyway.
But they are the best.
Pretty much, yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't see the problem with it. I mean, it's like back in the day, right? The difference in picture quality was pretty big. It was more than 10%. And now the difference, if you calibrate stuff, it's like maybe 2% difference.
Yeah.
Like the margins
I
are
remember-
so tight now.
I remember a time of plasma screens and Pioneer being the very, very best. I mean, yeah. Then Panasonic coming out with their Neo
Panasonic's gone.
plasma screens.
Long gone.
Long gone, sadly.
They were
Really good TVs.
They were good
Yeah.
TVs. I'm a huge fan of Panasonic.
Especially the Beovision 12. Remember that? Oh man.
Yeah, dude.
Green TVs, yeah.
I mean, but this, like, they kind of, with the theater, solved the age-old problem where at some point the screen will go, but B&O speakers will live on.
They
Instead
always
of
do.
hacking it up and making something weird, like
I mean,
the guy you
people
knew,
still have
Willie,
the
or
Pentas, yeah.
showed
Oh,
a
the
picture
BB9.
where somebody literally with a cut-off wheel went
For love of God, don't show it. I mean, that's
Terrible, dude.
not terrible. It's horrible. But yeah,
That's, I don't know. I wouldn't do it, man. I don't know how much money they would offer me. I'm like, fuck that, man. I'm not putting my name on this Frankenstein. There's no way. Because every time there's
No.
like anybody that is within a B&O circles, they would just say like, what the fuck is that? So no, I'm not. That's not the name that I'm gonna be carrying on.
no. Pseudonym by Billy Botanic or something.
So yeah, not happening.
I mean, but it's just a fact of life that eventually the electronics, most likely, of the panel will stop working before the speakers.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Of
just not really anything you can do about that. And this kind of fixes that. Because if for whatever reason they because it's become so light you don't even need the enormous VESA standard anymore, they'll just make it a smaller one. And you just replace the screen interface, as they call it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it kind of solves
A laser
lot of,
projectile, yeah.
and
Well,
if,
all it
Minority
cares for
Report.
is the HDMI arc, just to suck the sound out of the signal, and that's it. It doesn't care for the resolution, doesn't do any picture processing like it used to do as B&O, right? Like, there is no more of any of that. You got a panel that is doing the picture part, and you have the sound bar that's doing the friggin' entire.
I love
speaker
that one of my friends still have the Beolab 7, the Redloaf big soundbar, and connected it to his regular TV because the sound of the 7 is still, I mean, it's a very good soundbar for what it is. But yeah, you don't get that connectivity with all the rest of the speakers with a modern TV, but still good soundbar.
Put a core on it.
Yeah, could work.
but you want the Mozart and the old platform.
What?
On
again,
the theater, you don't need a core. It's all Mozart now. Everything's built in.
I'm saying 7.1 or 7.
Oh,
whatever.
Yeah, but I still think Redline speakers are good sounding with the right amp and still Beosound or Beolab Pentas are still really good speakers.
The people that love Penta swear by them to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Which
They're
is
like the
kind of
DeLorean
crazy
Penta.
to me, but like, I mean, as long as you like it, I don't mind.
Yeah. I had my
They're
time
very
with Pentas.
time correct, but yeah, prefer more modern sound and they're very much a DeLorean design to it. But yeah, if you like to listen to the music that kind of in the era, they're really good, and for what they are still today, really good. Oh, yeah, I have to Google something because I remember this male model in the US. It was very much in this kind of. He was an audiophile, and Fabio or something is called. He had Pantas, but he still had this kind of Krell or what it's called, this American hi-fi unit. But still in his bedroom, he still had Pantas, and it was like this video montage, someone interviewing Swedish kind of guys interviewing. It was like, oh, Pantas. Even this kind of music audiophile guy even had Pantas.
God, I haven't been on Instagram in like 2 weeks. And my crystal ball was fucking correct, and I hate it. Like, it shouldn't be correct. Like, you have theater, 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 and then nothing.
Fabio Lanzoni. There you go.
Yeah,
You
back
know
to
what I'm talking
A9, because
about?
that's been around for fucking 10 years now, so let's just promote it again.
Sorry, what?
No, I'm saying the Instagram, right? Like, let's promote the A9 again, because it's been around for a decade, so they just lose the theater in a scroll.
Yeah. Like, guys, I don't get it. This is your biggest launch product. Like, unless you make so much more money off of A9 sales, please hype up the shit that you're actually just like. I'm gonna pull this. God, I can't type today.
Pull that,
There's
bro.
try one interesting. Google Fabio Lanzoni, and you will see that he still have the Penta speakers, same as Steve. So these are the guys that still really like the Penta still.
That wood grill's $1,500 difference, I guess.
Yeah, the wood grill versus the fabric is €1,000 difference, and it doesn't matter what size you obviously
go with.
No, because they're all the same. Just the wings change.
I wonder if they're gonna have a non-GVA model.
None of them are.
It's got a microphone on it.
Yeah, for room correction.
Yeah.
It has 2 mics on them,
Where's the
actually.
fucking button? Why is there a button on for a microphone then?
Because you can accidentally rerun room compensation if you want, and if you want to block that, you can turn off the mics.
Okay.
I mean, the 28s don't have GVA in them, but they still have that switch to turn the microphone off.
Oh, okay, so you don't fuck up your things accidentally.
Yeah. Or you have a party or somebody does, and we're going to start over again.
Oh.
Don't trust the speakers.
Yeah, I like this one.
Well, I guess so far it's pretty clear. It's either meh or if we spoke about the theater, but nobody is wanting more A9 stuff. Thanks, guys.
It's funny. A9 has 0.
Yeah.
Nobody cares anymore for it. Fun. But honestly, yeah, like we've pre-sold two theaters so far, and I've sent one GVA A9 for repair because it's defective. So I don't know why they're promoting A9s over this.
The only reason I can think about why they would push it is to get rid of the last stock before they make a Mozart A9.
That makes sense, but still. I don't think you should abandon a brand new release product because you have overstock on shit that you're planning to get rid of later. Give this its spark and flash, and then hate that shit like October, November for the A9 for people for Christmas. The A9 is a lot more stomachable for a Christmas present for someone than a $10,000 soundbar. Well,
But is
I
it?
guess 15.
I would be happy with either.
Well, I mean, if you look at B&O's Christmas
That's
catalog, you can also expect to be given 50s, apparently.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, was it last year, the year before, I got one of these, like, oh, these are some good Christmas ideas. And you could, like, the idea was to give some 50s to your spouse. It's like, oh, yeah, you just give... At the time,
But in that sense,
I think
it's
at
like
the time
when
they
my-
were 35,000 euros. Like, oh yeah, you just
Yeah.
give that away, right? Like that's normal.
Here you go,
to
bud.
spouses,
Enjoy
yeah.
it.
But that's very much the idea when my father bought my mother a VHS player. That's something for you, but something to me to be able to use. So you give your spouse 50s, but who's gonna install them, use them, and everything?
Apparently, my brother-in-law is supremely based, as in he gave my sister a vacuum cleaner.
Fuck, that's a good way to go about it.
For you to use, right? You like cleaning stuff?
Shit.
But here, it's much the same. Nathan loves this kind of cleaning stuff. So you will be thrilled if you would be giving a new vacuum cleaner or mop or something.
Well, for a birthday?
Crazy. Yeah, she would be crazy. It's so weird. Yeah. Or just sorting, kind of having different kind of sorting bins and everything. She would be crazy. It was like, oh. But yeah, some people, right? Yeah, I don't know. I would rather prefer an A9 in that sense, rather than a vacuum
I mean,
cleaner.
I guess I can give my girlfriend some 90s for her birthday.
You know what?
Good.
Get her some 90s for her birthday.
There you go.
I mean,
You can first use them when we move to the US. Yeah.
if she somehow decides to leave me, it's not like she can carry them anyway.
That's funny shit.
130 kilos. Gonna take them. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, this is weird. Like, surely you have more than 3 shots of bloody theater. It's one of your biggest launches in a long ass time, and
And also very much versatile, so you can promote it in so many different ways.
God.
I just don't know, man. I don't know why they it's just the way the marketing works over there.
I mean, please give me control of your Instagram for like a month
Marketing,
or so.
yeah.
No, just the Instagram. Like, I don't need the rest of the marketing. I'll just post pictures of your stuff and nothing else. But I bet you it makes more sense than this does.
I so remember the days when Beosound actually post real pictures of real people's home.
Yeah, I mean, do that again.
It was so inspiring. That's the reason why I got this Beosound magazines. You can toggle through and see how people integrated old and new and how they live with stuff and the rest of the chorus. Everything was just so much more inspiring than these computer rendering photos or something like that. Or yeah,
It's different
it don't really
times.
make me want to buy Beosound in the same way that other stuff do. Sadly, that's why Instagram. Looking at the way I found your kind of Instagram was like, these guys are crazy, especially Will this white 90s when I was thinking, like, oh, like.
I haven't done shit on Instagram for a while now. I just kind of abandoned it.
Back in the day.
Back in the old.
Now it's more understandable because everything's just back down, right?
I just, you know what? I just don't get high off these likes and shit no more. So I don't care for it. Like, I just don't care for it. I have way more important things in life to do than hashtagging shit right now at this point of time.
Now that's for me. With my Instagram was like, I want to post the pictures that I myself couldn't find because all the people that had the most expensive speakers, the Beolab 9s and the 5s, was the more kind of restricted people. It was like, oh, I don't want to show people my home because they were very private. There was especially in the Scandinavian countries, is kind of this kind of law that you don't show off this. So I was like, people want to see. I want to see Beolab 5s in how the real life is and with people's interior design. That's why I posted it. Now I think that most people have done the same thing, so I don't really need to do it in the same way that I used to. Yeah, now it's more Lego and Alphonse.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I guess there should be some new Lego announcements now.
They did. I mean, so much new stuff they did this August. It's just up.
Yeah, but it's
Or
all
was
of
it-
your fucking city shit, which I don't care for, because that.
Yeah,
like,
but the
that is
Lego castle theme, that
fucking
big
money
one that
pit.
I had. Yeah, I had the big Lego castle. I had the Lego spaceship, and had the big, all this kind of old, cool stuff.
Koa asked, does the theater allow for smaller speakers like the level or balance to be used as rear channels? Not at the moment. It is on the roadmap for 2023, they say. So I should mention with that, most Beosound products like a Beosound level or balance aren't seen as speakers independently. They're integrated products, so you can't treat them as Beolab things.
Get secondhand 17s still.
Yeah.
Better choice.
Oh, or, I
Sadly.
mean, if you write my friend and ask him to post shit like this once he's all set up, like, surely this is more inspiring than your weird flow music nonsense.
And very well done. I mean, this is just not. This could easily been posted on their website or Instagram. So clean, it's so good, and yeah. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if I was in charge of your Instagram, I would post similar shit to this. I would first of all start with, hey, send me in some stuff.
It's a Beosound 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, there's the 17s here on the back, and then 4 Beolab 5s, and then 2 big fuck you subwoofers here. There's another, I believe he said 6 speakers on the ceiling.
Nice. I like the lighting.
I like the lighting. Yeah.
That's got to sound ultimate in there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does, yeah. Like God, I mean, 5s are a bit older, but can you imagine if you go 7.1.4 and like the 7 lower speakers are just 5s?
No, he's got only 2 pair, right?
Yeah, but like 17s here at the back, and then 2 subwoofers. These are the, what is it, SVS 3000 or like the.
Fuck.
These are extremely powerful.
Wonder how he's running it, because you can't really run it from the Beosystem 3 because
no, it's I think it's a Denon deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it's one of the higher end ones with, I think it goes up to, what is it, 16.4.6 or something decoders. It's one of those insane deals.
Yeah. That's good.
I mean, in the end, again, that's Atmos, and Atmos is an upscaler. So, like in any Dolby signal, there's not that many channels. There just aren't. So, I mean, it would be nice if Atmos was more applied to B&O stuff. But I guess they started with the stage, and that sold very well. So,
but still an old-fashioned 5.0 or 5.1 is still a very good setup in most movies. It's a really good.
I had with my 90s, I had 5-point the system. That's it, and it was more than enough. Like the height.
More than enough, yeah.
Been cool, but you're in the apartment and the ceiling was a little more softer because it was all concrete. I would have probably fucking put some on. But
yeah, I was gonna say it
before,
happen. But in the movie 1917, the World War I movie, that's kind of in one take, kind of ish. there is one scene when a trip on a tripwire and the whole kind of bunk or something blew up. And I had two of my friends watch the movie, and every time I was sitting like this when the scene comes, because everything is just dialogue mostly. And you have the volume up like 60 or something, and just in my theater room when I had the 20s, and I was sitting there and watch the reaction because it's so bam, and that kind of reaction is just amazing. And with a theater and 28 or something, even though you don't go to level 65, it will be deafening almost. Like you say, when you hear that, that's almost what you hear after that kind of shot.
Yeah, I'm still amazed how, like, the 50s are pretty flat, right? Until they're asked for. And then all of a sudden that dynamic range sort of expands itself, and it's like, went with like a movie like 1917. I was like, fuck me, I've turned it down for the neighbors. But I recently did a test, and I stood outside my front door again, and it was fucking proper loud. And outside my front door, it was sort of like this, not too loud.
Yeah, you
like,
can't really hear it.
Yes!
You have doors.
I can experience it. Come again, Willie.
No, if you have the door sealed nicely, you can't hear it. Like, that's especially in the apartments.
Yeah, but the doors, since everything's concrete, the doors is the only place it can go, or reverb throughout the building. Because
in my old apartment,
like I was going to say, in my old apartment, the neighbors could hear it through the floor joists, as in not the neighbors below me, because I didn't have anybody below me. The neighbors, literally 7 meters that way, the floor joists would like vibrate in her apartment.
Oh yeah, they just transfer.
And my thighs that are pointing down subwoofers disturb the neighbors upstairs. So yeah.
I mean, I sometimes get texts like, "Did you hear that helicopter passing over so low?" And it's like, "Fuck, we're watching a movie."
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, I didn't hear anything. What were they doing?"
Be glad it's just helicopter sound and you don't watch everything else. Oh, yeah.
Well, they just heard.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Anyway, on that note, I'm gonna call it for tonight. If you haven't yet, please leave a like and subscribe. Come join the Substack. Subscribe to it. I'll upload the audio track as soon as possible, and then you can listen to this screen off, because people prefer that apparently. But I try to help out. We'll do tomorrow or something. We'll see. We'll talk about.
I'm working tomorrow, so I won't be for sure.
Oh, then I'll see what I'll do. Maybe we'll do some. I'll do something tomorrow. Maybe not. But anyway, subscribe to the to the Substack if you haven't yet already. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Hope you like it. Like and subscribe, and see you all next week. Bye.
Yes,
bye.
Bye.
Button.